Lindsay Bernard. I'm a sophomore chemistry major, and I'm running to be your 2013-2014 finance chair. Although I've just joined NSBE this past year, I feel that I have the passion and the necessary qualifications to financially benefit our chapter. I want to be your finance chair because I want to give back to the organization in the best way I know how, through fundraising. If elected your finance chair, I have two goals for the upcoming school year: to rebuild relationships with former sponsors while forging new partnerships, and mainly to increase member participation in finance events. In the previous school year, we have only had one corporate sponsor, WLL Board, and I believe that number should be increased. To increase sponsorship, I would rework our solicitation packet and send it out to companies earlier in the summer before companies' fiscal years begin, so that if they wish to sponsor us, they will be able to budget us into their yearly financial spending instead of scrounging for money after their budget is set. I would also make sure to send the packet to new companies we may not have considered before, and would follow up within a week to increase the probability of gaining sponsorship and show that we are a serious organization. I'm also a strong believer in giving back to the organization, and I want to encourage member participation in finance events. To increase the number of members willing to help at finance events, I plan to work with the treasurer and membership chair to offer incentives such as discounts for FRC and nationals to the members who attend the most finance events. I also believe that there is a lack of participation due to a lack of interest. Therefore, members should be given the opportunity to come forward with any new fundraising ideas they have and to help with the organization, because I find that people are more likely to help if they're more likely to attend an event if they help organize it. I would also work with the president and treasurer to establish a fundraising goal, if not for the entire year, at least for major events, so that we can have a visible way of measuring our financial success. All in all, I want to use my knowledge of professional communication and my experience with fundraising as a Girl Scout for 15 years to increase our partnership opportunities and have our members give back to the organization that has done so much for us. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Oyena Davipet, and I'm running to be your finance chair for the 2013-2014 school year. I joined Black Engineer Society in the beginning of my sophomore year, and I can honestly say that was one of the best decisions I've made during my college career thus far. From BES, I've learned the essence of family and community, and I've also been able to grow academically and professionally and socially. For this reason, I decided to give back to our organization by being your finance chair in the upcoming school year. The main responsibility of the finance chair is to raise money for BES. As finance chair, I plan to continue previously stated fundraising events such as hot dog sales and concessions with more of an emphasis on football concessions. Also, I intend to work with the programs chair to incorporate more social and professional events on campus to raise money for BES. My main agenda, however, is to raise money by reaching out to companies and corporations to donate to our organization by reminding them that doing so is an investment in their future. I intend to mend broken relationships with companies that have previously donated to BES in the past, such as Exxon, Morgan Stanley, and Johnson & Johnson. My goal is to implement a reward system for companies that donate to us. So, companies that donate more to us will have more access to talented students such as you and I. Through this, there will be more companies at GBMs and mini career fairs open to you all throughout the semester. Lastly, I plan to work closely with the treasurer in making sure a solicitation packet is completed well and before its deadline in order for us to be able to sell ourselves to these corporations. I can definitely bring in my expertise as being the current fundraising advisor of Sister to Sister and my expertise from working closely with our previous treasurer in fulfilling my duties as finance chair. Therefore, I come to you all to help me further the growth and success of BES by electing me as your finance chair for the 2013 and 2014 school year.
Alrighty. Vernon, Will, Itahan, Edwin, Maya.
So with seat frustration, a lot of corporate sponsors aren't as willing to sponsor chapters anymore. So what's your plans to diversify your revenue stream coming in for next year?
My plan I definitely, like I said in my speech, I want to incorporate more social and professional events on campus that could possibly raise money for BES. I talked to the exec board members from University of Delaware, and I know they have like a professional fashion show event, and that raised a lot of money for their organization. So that's something we could possibly incorporate here at the University of Maryland. Also, I plan to definitely reach out to several other departments and on campus to donate money, fill out scholarships to get money for the organization, and just have other fundraising events to raise money for BES, if the companies say.
Okay, so I know I was a Girl Scout for 15 years, and we had a lot of fundraising opportunities, not just selling cookies. So I think that I know what fundraisers will bring in the most amount of money, and I think the best way to go about it is, like she said, social events. But I think that one of our biggest problems is getting people involved and attracting people to these events. So I would like to work with the membership so that they can bring to us their ideas, work with programs so that they can find like the best time, the best places to do these events. And I also think that we should continue asking department heads for donations, because I know that they have been a big part of our financial growth in the past.
Other than concessions and also reaching out to companies, because sometimes reaching out to companies is a little harder than you may think, so we are maybe bringing in a limited number of companies with less than what you thought. I want to know, like, what new fundraising ideas do y'all have, just in case any old things backfire?
I think, first of all, that we should try to do things more around campus. I know that concessions are great, hot dog sales, but not everybody is in engineering building. So I think that bake sales as a stamp, or, you know, holding a dance, or, like she said, a fashion show, a car wash, any number of events or whatever that will include the entire campus and not just the engineering and science departments. So yeah.
Like I mentioned in my speech, like I want to incorporate more social and professional events on campus to raise money. So, and I also want BES to work with other well-known organizations on campus, so we can maybe sponsor an event together and raise money for the organization. We can have other fundraising events, like concessions. I feel like the biggest thing with the financial, we need to plan and get members out here. So the biggest thing we need to do is have incentives for like events that we have. So not to emphasize that, I feel like the biggest appeal of BES is the fact that we're a family. So for fundraising events, I feel we have to emphasize that we're bonding as a family, and I feel that's going to get more members to partake in events. So whatever events we implement to get more members, just to emphasize it's a family bonding experience, and to emphasize, like, have incentives, such as what we did for National. So $1 off, like, for every hour of hot dog sales you did, and such as that.
Okay, well, Lawrence kind of talked about it a little bit. I just want to know more of your experience. Have you guys, maybe not necessarily dealing with fines, but what about you can get me to believe what you guys just said? I thought you guys were very kid about it.
Well, like I said in my speech also, I'm the current fundraising advisor of an organization on campus called Sister to Sister. So I can definitely bring in my expertise from that organization to Black Engineer Society. And also, I think the biggest thing about financial is you have to be a go-getter, you have to be a hustler, for lack of a better term. And I feel like I have that passion in me and drive to bring money to the organization. And I also work closely with the previous treasurer, so I kind of know how, like, handling the money and, like, the budget and, like, financial situation of BES.
So my mother started an organization called Food on the 15th, and it was to bring food to income-qualified senior citizens. And my job, which she reported me, was to reach out to companies to ask for donations of groceries, food, and money. So that gave me a sense of professionalism, how to approach companies or whatever and ask them for money. But I'm also a very eager person. I don't stop until I think that I've achieved all that I can. So I'm not going to, if a company says no, it's not that I'm going to push them or whatever, but I'm going to keep in contact with them. I'm going to invite them to come here and talk to us. I'm going to approach them at career fairs, whatever, and keep on them until that I think that we've gotten everything out of it that we can. Also, being a Girl Scout for 15 years, I've done many, many, many fundraising events, and I know the best way how to manage it, how to keep track of the money, how to bring people to it, how to advertise, and then also which events are going to bring in the most amount of money.
I would like to make a motion to ask one more question, only because it wasn't brought up during this whole time during Q&A.
I second.
Thank you, Dr. Consistency. One of the biggest things for finance shares is that immediately as soon as you step into the position, you have to complete the solicitation packet and send it out to your corporate sponsors within July. How do you plan to manage your time, either having internships or just having free time during the summer, to complete the solicitation packet and work with your e-board members to make sure that the solicitation packet is up to date and in flow with everything, every program that your e-board wants to implement?
Okay, so if elected, as soon as that happens, I would immediately contact every single member on the e-board, ask them what they want in the solicitation packet, ask for their ideas, compile it. I do not start my work until June, so I have the entire month of May basically to work on the packet, and then also look at previous solicitation packets, figure out what went wrong, what worked well, what companies would like to see, what brought those companies in, or what dissuaded those companies from sponsoring us. So basically, starting right away, contacting people right away, and then seeing what would best sell ourselves to these companies.
Okay. Well, from talking to previous e-board members, I know one of the biggest advice they gave me was to have a committee. So if elected, I would definitely form a finance committee to help me complete the solicitation packet. I would also work closely with the treasurer and secretary in completing this packet before it's due. And my summer is pretty much free, so I'm dedicated to BES. I know, once I have a deadline, I will make sure I have it done well and before its deadline. So I will complete the solicitation packet by not only working with the e-board members, such as the treasurer mostly, and the secretary, and making sure the solicitation packet is complete before its deadline.
Thank you.
That concludes our question and answer period.